We're live?
Live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So we're live. And you are now tuned in to the Outsell. Live and direct from the Hummingbird. Out here in Graceland, as we like to call it. You know what I'm saying? Just to let y'all know that we're going back on the road. And in case y'all didn't know, it's going to be a blast, man. We're looking to rock it with the Beatnuts. It's going to be our third tour with the Beatnuts. We did 2 other ones in Canada, but those were like smaller tours, 3 to 5 cities. This one stretches out a little bit past 11 dates. We're going to be hitting up Norway twice, France twice, Italy twice. I know we're going to Slovenia, Budapest, and Switzerland. Like I said, this is our third time with them. This time we went on a No Escaping This World tour, and the first 2 times, we had a ball. Jokes galore. Juju, super cool dude. Psycho Les, exact same. They're 2 different people, but they're both cool as fuck. And one thing that I could take from both of these dudes is that you always have to keep it 100% real, and that's what they have done consistently since the early 90s. From my encounter when I used to be a youngin', you know what I'm saying? We'd be downstairs watching Much Vibe or MTV, and we'd see the videos, and they were there, just acting a fool and staying true to their craft, staying true to who they were, you know what I'm saying? And meet them like 20 years later, and they're the exact same, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's really refreshing to know that you could do something you love and not really change who you are as a person and still have the same result at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate Juju and I appreciate Psycho Les for being those type of guys and being real individuals, you know what I'm saying? It inspires me to continue to do the same. Well, performing, the difference between I find performing in Montreal and overseas, I think it's mainly because when you're in Europe, or the places that I've went to anyway, they are not accustomed or so it's not as available. Music, I mean, the music, different types of music. We just like have an unlimited, unreached amount of music to access. We're access to have all this type of music, and I feel like for them, they're still on all the classics we grew up on. And their appreciation for it is just far beyond what we can fathom. Being out there and seeing how they live, seeing how they receive the music, it's definitely opened my eyes to a whole other level of networking and outreach. And I feel like where we're at right now, being in Montreal, it definitely creates like a pattern that you can look at and identify with. And not saying that Montreal doesn't have that, they definitely do, but being in Europe is just so much more, it's so much wider, it's so much more accepted than being out here. I just feel like Montreal, it still hasn't happened, but when it does happen, then maybe we can have that same culture that they have in Europe, and the appreciation that they have in Europe for the hip hop music, real hip hop music, that is. But that I would say would be the main difference between performing in Montreal and overseas. Yo, there's so many different layers to being on the road and experiencing the tour life. I feel like you really have to do it, experience it on your own. You have to go out there, backpack it, like the great Bad News Brown told me. Think about what you can't get and go get it. When he said that, it was just a thought out of his brain, but he kept it all the way real with me, because the things that he was telling me, he lived through, he did them. So he showed me how to do it. He gave us all, every artist in Montreal who's ever come across him, or any person who's ever come across him, and his gift of gab, and him being able to talk to you, and you could just relate to him, you connect with him so easily. If you ever got the chance to talk to Bad News Brown in the flesh, and hear what he, when he spoke and he told you something, then you would know what I'm talking about. But for me personally, I could just show you that you can't put it into words. It has to be experienced by you from a personal level, because there's going on tour and touring, performing every single night, and the rigors of it that it takes on your body, that it takes on your mind. And there's the benefits of it that, you know, you actually get to reach someone, and these people don't forget who you are. The next day they'll go on your Facebook and they're adding you as a friend, or they're on your website, wanting to download your music, wanting to know more about you, and they're sending you personal emails thanking you for the performance that you've done, and they're asking you for autographs every night. And it's just crazy. The open reception to going out there and experiencing and branching out and doing different things with different types of people. It's I can't put it into words. As far as I'm concerned, what I've said doesn't do it justice. You know, I can't put it into vivid colors. If I had maybe a $50 million budget to make a movie, you know, a la Christopher Nolan, I think you'd be quite satisfied with what the tour life really is. Cloud surfing is a project that's been building up for a while. Well, I started working on the project a little bit more than 2 years ago, and I wanted to put it out last year, but it wasn't ready. The sound of it and what I wanted it to be it didn't meet my vision, so I shelved it. I put it in the vault, locked it away, went back to it later. I released the Raw project, which really embodied my whole style of being a rapper, and I feel like that's what I am. I'm just raw. I express myself in ways that only I can understand, or those who have come up with me. And the things that I've experienced, I like to, depict them in my own way. You know, it's just my own style, and I feel like the cloud surfing really, what it does, it symbolizes my thought process. That's what cloud surfing is to me. Cloud surfing is just one testament, for the last 18 to 21 months. That's all it is right now. It's a moment in time that I want to symbolize the time of its moments, and I think that personally this is where it has to be. And for me, I took all the time that I felt was necessary to construct the project, and I feel like it won't disappoint. I actually feel like people now are really gonna start to take notice, if they haven't already, because I know that when I went overseas they have. And I'm going to continue to build this and to express myself in an artistic way through the vision that I've created, that I set for myself. And hopefully, by the grace of God, you'll continue to bless me so I can continue to bless y'all and keep the world wrapped and ever so familiar. So make sure you look out for cloud surfing. We got a couple of things that we're going to drop for it very soon, leading up to the campaign and this release. But I promise you this, you won't be disappointed with the final result. And everybody that's tuning into this here open piece, I hope that you got a little glimpse of where we're going direction wise. This is the HMAN, or should I say I'm HMAN, and you are now tuned in.
It's time you realize world's much bigger than the city lines, or what you see on the daily. I'm out to get a rap so they hear me. It's time you realize the world's much bigger than the city lines, and what you see on the daily. I'm out to get them rap so they hear me.